Today I'm talking about ways to keep deer out of the garden. I spent many years as an organic farmer and a wildlife rehabilitator at the same time, so you can say I perpetuate my own problems. Deer are not just a country problem, as more deer live in urban areas. So I'm going to share things that have worked for me and ones that haven't. Deer are not stupid. In fact, they are highly adaptable and very curious animals. This is why we see them in yards and pushing the limits to reach a food source. Every deer population is going to be a bit different, and you may have to try and use several tactics to see what works for you. In many suburban areas, this kind of behavior causes big issues. If you or people around you are hand feeding deer, it teaches the deer that not only are humans a source of food, but the deer can kind of be bullies about going after it. Children have been injured because a grown buck with antlers can be dangerous when they want a treat. Soap is often touted as a good deer repellent, especially the strong smelling ones. You drill a hole in a bar of soap and hang it near your plants. However, this never worked for me. The deer live near you. They know what you smell like, and they are totally used to your odor. The same goes for human hair. I have never noticed it deterring deer. Another bad option, and in my opinion, a very inhumane one, is using fishing line. I can't tell you how many animals I have pulled fishing line out of and untangled from infected wounds. Fishing line is touted as some invisible fence idea, but it will not stop a 200-pound deer. I do think that urine can be a good deterrent. The smell of predator urine goes into a much more instinctual, primal flee response. I used to tell my sons to go pee around the fruit trees. Probably we shouldn't let them know I said that. Coyote urine or wolf urine can work well because they are natural predators. You can purchase urine at a garden store. The thing about it is it evaporates and gets washed away by rain, so it does need to be applied often, and that can get expensive. So that brings me back to dogs. Here was my dog patrol back in, I think, 2019. A livestock guardian dog is great, but you don't have to have a big dog. Just the presence of a dog can deter deer. The motion sensor noise markers don't move. Dogs do move. Small dogs are often great because they are very yappy. My Jack Russells and my son's Spaniel mix were adamant about guard duty. However, I have had urban friends tell me that large bucks have gone after their smaller dogs, so use caution and be monitoring the situation. If you mix a dog and a fence, that's a big win-win. This Blur is my grand dog, and he guards my backyard garden. Automatic and motion sensor water sprinklers are often used in gardens. Get one that shoots out a stream of water pretty quickly. These water projectors only work for a short time, so my advice is if you purchase one to scare deer, you may need to move it frequently. By frequently, I mean weekly. Observe where deer are coming and going. Deer jump and they are fast, but they can be creatures of habit, hence all the deer trails through the woods. Find their entry spots so you can block or deter them. This is definitely a long-term solution since the plants need time to grow, but a natural fence is beautiful and functional. Hawthorn and holly are good choices. Yew and boxwood are ones on the least preferred list for deer. Having a tall hedge that the deer cannot see over deters them. Please give this video a like if it's helping you out. You can also use plants that deer don't normally go after to protect known favorites. Here I have squash plants surrounding kale. The fence is bent inwards, which was actually more of a raccoon thing. Squashes and melons, Plants with prickly leaves can deter deer. Herbs are also great because many deer don't like the smell of herbs, especially mints. Use cages is another way to protect a prize plant. Plants are most vulnerable when they are young. So I use a lot of different fabric and netting to provide season extension, bug protection, and shade. In doing this, I provide protection from deer as well. Deer don't like things that flap or move around, so I personally never had them take off the covers to get to the plants. Raised beds can be used very well with crop covers that help the plant and protect them from deer. So let's talk about physical barriers. Deer can jump high and they can jump wide, but not necessarily in the same motion. Deer are also very adept at getting under fences, so any garden fencing needs to be secured at the bottom. If you want to keep deer away from the garden space, then your best bet is a good, solid fence. I know you probably didn't want to hear that because fencing can get expensive. Small scale fencing can be done to protect individual plants. I often cage in young fruit trees and berry bushes. Deer netting is not as effective because it is flimsy, especially if it is used with fiberglass poles. The deer will figure out they can push on it and it will collapse. You can make it more effective by tying blue ribbons to it, giving it greater visibility. An interesting fact about deer: they do not like to jump over barriers when they can't see on the other side. Just like I said earlier about building a hedge, putting a solid fence, or in this case, sheets on the sides of a dog kennel, can offer protection. In this case, it's being used so the fawns can't see humans or farm animals and want to be friends. They needed to learn to be wild. Dog kennels can keep deer in or out. You can often find used kennels pretty cheap. I grew corn in one for several years. Livestock styles of fence typically don't deter deer at all. They don't even slow them down. Your best bet is a wire fence with wooden posts. The fence should be at least 6 feet high and actually slope outward at a 45-degree angle. You can see in this picture how the deer naturally goes for the open area where there are no plants growing. Another strategically placed tree might help this gardener out. An electric fence also works well. If your deer pressure is intense, you will want to use three strands at 18, 30, and 42 inches high. Electric mesh fences have also proven effective, but this might not be as practical if you are in a suburb. Electric netting can work well to protect a specific animal or plant. This netting was solar powered, so in periods of cloudiness, I had some failures. Back-to-back fencing can help as well. Deer have poor depth perception. They can jump high or wide, but not necessarily in the same motion. In this instance, the chicken yard was on two sides of the garden, so the chickens had bug patrol and the garden had a fence. Even having two wire fences about 3 feet apart will cause the deer to be afraid to jump over it. I have not used the deer repellent sprays yet that you can buy. I did buy a bottle of this Repels All, and it was more with chipmunks in mind because we have a lot of squirrels and chipmunks in the yard. But I do foliar feed with fish emulsion, which one study showed worked as a deer repellent as well. Hopefully some of these suggestions work for you. Let me know in the comments and keep those video suggestions coming. It's a big help to hear what you are interested in. Thanks for watching and have a fabulous sunny day.